we are going to have a discussion of this predicted paper for 2026. This is going to serve for those who are going to do the May-June exams, who are going to have receipt November and also January series. So we are going to look at the main topics that you really need to understand, so that when you are going to be tested in this particular exam, you'll be in a position to answer each and every question that will be tested. We are going to dive in so that we can be able to see what is the best way to write your steps and how do you ensure that you maximize on the number of marks provided. If you are new to ProfLearn YouTube channel, consider subscribing so that anytime I'm going to upload more tutorials, you'll be notified. And if you have not joined our Patreon page, just check a link in the description that is going to take you straight to our Patreon page so that you can be able to access the PDF. Now we need to go straight and dive in and check what is the main area. You need to understand that this paper is 75 marks, and I've just tried to ensure that I have as much as possible concept that you have to know, so that I can be able to take you through different areas that were tested in various exams. One of the areas that you have to know how to approach, an area that you must understand how to work out, is different proofs. You need to understand how to prove by counter example, but meaning that you are going to give different values so that you can be able to show that whichever statement that you are being told is either correct or is not correct. Then there's another one that is called proof by exhaustion, which we are going to see in a short while. So you can see here in this particular question, exam questions, students were told that prove by counter example that if n is a prime number, then 3 raised to power n plus 2 is also a prime number. So in this particular scenario, the candidates were supposed to give an example of a value that disapproves this. So meaning that if you, for instance, you take, in my case here, I've given 5. So if you take n to be 5, n is a prime number, 5 is a prime number. So if you put it there, it will be 3 raised to power 5 plus 2. If you work it out, definitely you are going to get 245. But if you look at 245 has factors, so which means it's not a prime number. So meaning that this statement we have proven not to be true by counter example. Proof using exhaustion, proof by exhaustion. And this proof you are told to prove that if m is an integer that is not divisible by 3, m is not an integer that is divisible by 3, then m squared minus 1 is divisible by 3. We are going to check whether that statement is correct or not. Now, when do we say a value is divisible by 3? It's when you have 3 as a factor of that value. So if we want to have m not divisible by 3, we're going to say 3 times n. Up to this section here, it's divisible, then plus 1. Now, when you add 1, it becomes not divisible. So if you now have m not divisible, that is in the form 3n plus 1, we can be able to substitute here and say 3n plus 1 squared minus 1. We expand that and then we try to check the final expression that we are going to get. Is it a factor of 3? Yeah. So if you look at this, if you expand, you'll have 9n squared plus 6n. But this one can be expressed in as 3, as 3 can be written, or you can factor out 3. So meaning this is going to mean that this part that we have here is a factor, is divisible by 3. So m squared minus 1, when this m is not divisible by 3, is divisible by 3. So which means we have proven by exhaustion that statement is correct. Another main area that you really have to know how to work out, have to be ready to work out in that particular exam, is the concept to do with factor theorem and remainder theorem. So for instance here, we are told that f of x is equals to x raised to power 4 plus ax power 3 minus 3x squared plus bx plus 5 is a function, right? So you are supposed to show that a plus b is equal to -1. When is that? When this is divided, when f of x is divided by x plus 1, it means the remainder is going to be 4. So ideally, what you are going to do here in this case, you are going to take x plus 1, you equate it to 0, you make x the subject, x is equal to -1. Then you try to substitute in this function. Anywhere you have x, you replace with -1. Once you do that, you'll say that should be equals to 4 because you are told the remainder becomes that. So having done that, you are going to have the expression a plus b is equals to -1. When f of x is divided by x minus 2, the remainder is -23. So you are going to take this part that you have here, and then you shall equate to 0. You shall have x is equals to 2. Then when you substitute x is equals to 2 and anywhere in this expression, you shall say is equals to -23. Then if you rearrange, you put the like terms together, you will get 4x plus b is equal to -16, and that becomes our equation 2, and we had already formed equation 1 in the previous section. So once we have this with us, it will mean that now we have two simultaneous equations that we are going to solve simultaneously so that we can be able to get the value of a and b. So I believe at this point of time, when you are doing A-level math, I'm not going to teach you on how you can be able to solve simultaneous questions. So you can be able to use elimination, substitution here, and then if you work it out, you're going to get a is -5 and the value of b is +4. And then you will be done. You'll earn your marks, and then you proceed forward as you are approaching scoring your A star. Then the next topic that I'm urging you to ensure that you prepare for this coming exam is the topic of arithmetic and geometric series, so that you can be able to solve problems. You need to understand a few formulas here. You need to understand the sum of n terms. Nth term is equals to a plus n minus 1 into d. You need to understand sum of n terms is given by n over 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d, where d is the common difference, isn't it? Yeah, so these are some of the formulas that you ought to understand. And also when it comes to geometric series, also you must have an idea on how to work it out, which an area I'm going to take you through in this particular tutorial. So the first sixth term, the sixth term of the is 2. So which means that we are going to use the nth term formula. We are going to use the nth term formula that we're having here. So if you substitute that, we are going to say 2 is equal, 2 is the sixth term, a plus n minus 1. N is 6 minus 1, it's going to give us 5. 6 minus 1 is going to give us 5d. Then that forms our equation 1. Equation 2 is the sum of the first 10 terms. So we are going to use this particular formula that we are having at this point of time, meaning that it's going to translate an equation that is going to have, we are going to have here is an equation of 10a plus 45d is equals to -8, and that becomes equation 2. Then once you have these two sets of equations, you are going now to solve them simultaneously, because you are supposed to find the first term and the common difference. First term is a, common difference is d, isn't it? Right? Then, and if you are watching this video without subscribing, guys, make sure you subscribe so that you will be able to remember these things. Let me tell you, if you not subscribe, bro, guys, you'll forget about Prop 1, and when I'll be uploading more tutorials, you will miss out, because I'll be taking you to P3, P4, FP1, FP2, and FP3. Statistics will be coming here. Physics, this is the home of physics also. Guys, just click in the link, go to the Patreon page, click in the description here. You can be able to get the link of this paper, and also subscribe. Okay, now once you've solved the simultaneous equation, you can see equation 2. I decided to multiply it by 10 so that I can have it 10a also. So I multiplied equation 1 by 10 so that it can be the same as equation 2 with the term with a is 10. Then upon solving, I got my beautiful answers as D as 20 and A as negative 98. Another interesting question that you may be asked: hence find the smallest value of n for which sum of n terms is greater than 8,000. Is greater than 8,000. So meaning that we are going to use the n term formula. We say n over 2 into 2 times the first term, which is negative 98, plus n minus 1 into the common difference 20. That must be greater than what? 8,000. Now once you simplify everything here and then you divide by 4 all through, ensuring that your algebraic steps are correct, you are going to have 5n squared minus 54n minus 400 is greater than 0. Now once you are there, you need now to move the next step of just assuming this is an equal sign. Then you solve the quadratic equation. Now upon solving the quadratic equation using maybe a quadratic formula, you are going to get n is 34.2 or n is negative 23.4. There is no way number of terms can be a negative number. So we are going to discredit this on arrival from the calculator. Then we shall remain with 34.2. Then we are talking of integer number. We are talking of the number of terms. It means we cannot take 34.2. We take the number above 34.2, above 34.2, which is going to be 35. Binomial expansion will be staring you in that particular exam. We are told that find the first three as terms in ascending powers of x of the binomial expansion of 2 plus px raised to power 6. So whenever you are going to do that, we are going to say 6 combination 0 times 2 power 6. The power of 2 will be decreasing. The power of this term will be increasing. So 6 combination 0 times 2 power 6. There's no need writing this because in this particular term it will be px raised to power 0, which is 1. Then the second term will be 6 combination 1 times 2 power 5 into px raised to power 1, and then 6 combination 2 raised to power 4 px raised to power 2. If you expand this, you put this into your calculator, 6 combination 0 is going to give you 1. 6 combination 1 is going to give you 6. 6 combination 2 will give you what? 6 combination 2 is going to give you 15. Then 15 times 2 power 4, that's going to give you 240. 6 times 2 power 5 is going to give you 192. 1 times 2 raised to power 6 is going to give you 64. Now, those are the first three terms that you are supposed to give in this particular question. Now, once you have this, what next are you going to do? What next are you going to do? You are going to move to the next part. And the next part is where now you are using this particular expansion that you are having at this level so that you can be able to use it to answer this particular question. You are told, given the expansion of this, the coefficient of x squared is negative 3 over 4. You are not going to basically expand this so that you can be able to get the answer. You are not going to expand everything. You are going to check those terms. If you multiply them, they're gonna give you x squared. So if you can open your eyes widely, you realize that if you multiply 3 that we are having here by the all of this term, you are going to have 240p squared times 3x squared. So that is going to translate to that, but you are picking the coefficient of x squared. That's why you can see I'm not writing x squared here, x squared, x squared, x squared, because eventually if you are having those x squared there, they will commit suicide, right? They commit suicide there, they will die off. All right, then now also you check negative 1 over 2x. If it multiplied with this, if you multiply x and this x is going to give you a coefficient at the power of x squared. So ideally that's what we did, and then you are going to add the two terms and you shall say is equals to negative 3 over 4, meaning that you are going to have a quadratic equation in terms of p. Now solving this quadratic equation, you get p 1 over 8 and p 1 over 20, and then we are done with that particular question. Question 5 is the question that is dealing with equation of a circle. So you have to know how to deal with questions and problems like this, because examiners, they really like this kind of question, equation of a circle. They are very happy when they are testing it. So I guess, and I'm hoping that there will be an equation of a circle in that particular exam. So here they were given an equation of a circle, and then they were told to find the coordinate of the centers and the radius. So of course this equation can be written in the form x, you'll divide this by 2 when you are completing the square, so that you can be able to express it in the point, in the situation whereby, in a way that you can be able to pick the coordinate of the center and the radius. So this is going to be x plus a half of 4 will be 2 squared minus 2 squared, the one that is here, then plus y, a half of this one is negative 15 squared, then we shall subtract 15 squared, then we shall say 209 is equals to 0. That's the approach I used there, so that I could be able to simplify that in that particular manner. Now if you go ahead and simplify and put everything in the correct place, you are going to have the expression reducing to x plus 2 squared plus x y minus 15 is equals to 20. So what does that mean? You can be able to pick the opposite sign of whatever you are having here, and that is going to give you the center. You pick the opposite sign. If it's negative, you take a positive. If it's a positive, you take a negative. That becomes the center. And a radius, this one has to be written in terms of squared. So we can write this as squared. So it's the root of 20, which is going to translate to that. We have the next part, and this is the area that we are going to pick from part B of the second part of this particular tutorial, how to work out those questions. So guys, see you in the next tutorial, or see you in the next video. If you have not subscribed, consider subscribing, so that anytime I'm going to upload another tutorial, you'll be notified. See you in the next video.